We'd like to sincerely thank our Patreon supporters. Good morning, everyone. We are standing inside my kitchen, and I am transferring eggs that I hard-boiled yesterday or last night to a bin that I can carry out to the cages. We're gonna feed the animals some hard-boiled eggs later today. But today's a big day. Today is my mom's birthday. So I think my parents are coming up here and why does it look like my eyes are closed? I think the light is so bright above me. It looks like my eyes are closed. They're coming up here and we're gonna go to lunch at the OK Corral. And, but this morning, we're gonna go visit my friend's organic chicken farm. I think it's an organic free range. We're gonna find out. I know what he does, but I don't know the correct terminology for how he does it. But again, it's a quality of life chicken farm. They're not crowded in. Him and I had discussed the possibility of me finding a way to get some of the trimmings when he processes the chickens for my animals, since it's so much cleaner than what you could buy at the store. But I think he sells it at a premium to some local dog food companies, you know, that just supply locally to people for dog food. But we can discuss that. That's not the reason why I'm going. Bruce is a pretty long-time friend, and a couple years back he made the move to Okeechobee. You know, we'll get into that story when we're there with him, of what he did and why he did it. But did I say already that today's my mom's birthday? If I didn't, today's my mom's birthday. Oh yeah, I did. My parents are coming up. Wow, I'm getting more and more forgetful. Again, it's just too many things on my mind. That's all I think about is all the projects and all the work I have. Please wish my mom a happy birthday in the comments. I would appreciate it, and she would appreciate that. She definitely would. But going to his farm, we'll be able to ask some questions that will relate firstly to our quail. Some of the insect problems, the predation problems, and there's gonna be some things that overlap the chickens and the quail that I wanna know before I build. And you'll see when I ask the questions why I'm asking those questions. And also, we're starting to get offered chickens from friends that are shrinking their group, or so-and-so's got to move. In fact, a whole group of my chickens from when I had chickens was just offered back to me. And I'm not ready, but I have all those 4x4 posts in there. And I think in one of the up and coming videos, we will finish our way down the hallway here. I can actually open the back door and we can actually look at the cages. On rows 3 and 4 where the black throats are, we could finish all the doorway posts, and that will use up all the 10-foot 4x4 posts. I think I only need 15 to finish that hallway, and then all the rest of it is 12-footers. So all those uprights can go to building the quail cages and all the chicken cages and stuff like that, and some fence repair that I have at the front of the property. But I would like to get rid of that pile of lumber, because if we have an opportunity and some money sitting aside to do any concrete work in there, I wanna get all that material off the ground. Material sitting on the ground just goes bad. If I have a way to put it in its proper place where it belongs, I don't have to worry about insects finding their way into it, or it rotting, or anything like that. We've got all of our eggs transferred now, so I think Pete just snuck out the back door when I did that. We're gonna make our way over to Bruce's. All right, guys, so we're driving down the road to Bruce's house first, and then we'll head to the property where he keeps the chickens. And let's do some fun facts about my mom. I know people are always asking to learn more about me or her or friends and stuff like that. Let's do some of my mom's fun facts. She grew up in New Orleans. Both my parents did. She used to have a pig named Porky, a pet pig. She's always loved animals. Always loved animals. She used to model when she lived in New Orleans. I know when my parents were just dating, she won a motorcycle in a contest and didn't, maybe a beauty contest or something, and didn't know or how to ride it or want to ride it or whatever. So
continue straight to stay on Florida.
Sorry, Google Maps is telling us where to go. She just gave it to my father or let my dad use it. She said he used to drive it around and bring it covered in dirt and grass and drop it back off at her house, and she would clean the thing meticulously because it was her prize, and then he would borrow it again. She is still the reigning, I think she's Miss Audubon Park or Audubon Zoo, Audubon Park, which is a park in New Orleans. It was the last contest where they crowned a queen of the park, and so she's still the reigning queen of Audubon Park. Hope I'm saying that right. She was the first woman to race, I believe, in all of offshore powerboat racing, or at least OPBRA. If you look it up, it'll probably say Betty Cook, but you know how history is written by the people with money. My mom raced well before her. Let's see, what else? We were to give you an idea of like what kind of person she is, at my parents' house, she cooks all the meals. She cleans the house. I think just this year we convinced her into getting someone to clean the house, a cleaning service that'll come once a month and do the deep cleaning, because she's so busy doing everything. She has always done all of the lawn maintenance, and I mean not paying for it, but she cuts the grass, weed whacks, pulls the weeds. She does all of it. Trimming the trees. Again, in more recent years, we've forced her to use like a tree trimming service to do some stuff, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't do a lot on her own. She's getting on our brakes pretty hard here in front of me. If given the choice, she will have a Coca-Cola and jelly beans for lunch, which makes her in many ways like Elf, from that popular Christmas movie. I guess that's it for now. There's always so many funny and interesting things about my mom and or both my parents. And you'll get to know more in time, but she's definitely a person to be celebrated, and I can't wait till they come up and we do her birthday lunch. And how nice is it that they're coming to me so I can still get work done today? Like their work isn't just as important or more important than mine. But we'll be at Bruce's shortly, and we'll pick up again there. All right, now I'm at Bruce's house. Say hello to everyone, Bruce.
Hello, everybody.
And what is the name of your chicken farm?
Uncle Swab's Pasture.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I like the decals on your truck. It's super slick.
Yeah.
But I just got to his house. We walked through his house and we start talking about everything. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Because I saw the rowboat in the backyard, and I mean, you guys are going to eat this up. It's like the most beautiful story. Let's walk over to it, and then you tell me about this, because you built this boat.
Yeah. Yeah.
To do
the crossing for a cure is what they call it at the time. I think now it's crossing for cystic fibrosis. Yeah. So, yeah, I crazy about building boats.
But the event is an 80-mile crossing from the Bahamas to Florida.
In Bimini, That's where I met you, Jerry.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
We did practice rows together and everything, and I met you guys.
So,
yeah.
We call this a dory or a rowboat?
Dory. It's a 20-foot dory designed by a guy named Sam Devlin. He's in, I think, Washington State. No, I had, I don't know. I just was ready for a new challenge. I love to build boats, and I was going to build a 17-foot version of this, but then I got to looking at the 20-foot. I said, "Oh, that's so pretty."
Yeah.
So
was a 17 a tandem as well?
No.
So yeah, but that made it even better. The fact that you did it with your daughter.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I talked to my daughter, and I said, "Hey, what do you think about doing this 80-mile rowing trip with me across the ocean, across the Gulf Stream, and it's for a good cause, but we'll have to build the boat, and I want you to help me build the boat." And she said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And really, neither of us knew how to row at the time, so we had to build a boat.
I didn't know that.
We had to learn to row.
You looked like you knew what you were doing.
No, well, I'm a better rower now than then. I'm still pretty hack at it, but I love it. It's amazing. Rowing is, by the way.
Oh yeah, so
no, we built the boat, and we built the first prototype of it, and it was really, really tippy, and we were out practicing. We did this lifeguard race in Fort Lauderdale. They do every year.
Okay,
off the
I'm
beach.
familiar. Yeah, a lot of my friends do it.
And it was a nasty day, 5-foot waves, wind howling, and we went out in that and just got our teeth knocked in. I mean, we actually got broached by a wave. We filled the boat entirely with water, and then it's no longer a boat. It was like a butter dish just floating, and we were able to drift ashore. Thank goodness.
You didn't have a way to evacuate the water yet, but you figured that out later.
No, yeah, well, and the seats I had first got all knocked off kilter. We fell into the boat. I mean, we nearly went over, but this thing is so amazing. You really can't capsize it, but it sure would fill with water. And she crushed her cell phone, everything. I mean, and so I was like devastated, because I was like, "Oh my gosh, this design is not going to work. We're done." I just felt terrible. I felt like a failure.
But you did it.
I went back to the designer, Sam, and I said, "Here's what happened." I said, "I don't know if I need to get a completely different boat, or what can we do with this." So he and I talked it through, and he showed me how to make a water ballast tank. I put a false floor in it, completely redesigned everything, and I put a bilge pump on it, and some Venturi tubes out the back.
I remember you and I talking about that stuff, how you figured it out.
So you can just, by rowing.
So I don't know if you guys know what a Venturi, by the inertia of moving, well, it's not an inertia thing, but it gliding over the water actually creates a siphon and actually sucks the water out of the craft.
Out of the back.
And there's different sizes and designs for different optimal speeds, and that's something you either have to know or play with to get it right.
Yeah, I just did something.
You just did something, and it worked. Okay.
Well, and you know what? Never again did I have, by filling the water ballast tank with water, it settled the boat down so much. When we did our crossing, we barely got a drip of water over, and it was every bit as busted. It wasn't as windy, but there was some wave action.
Now, all right, so I think I mentioned this on the channel. Like, I started the crossing. I didn't finish the crossing. I trained like hell for it, and that's really how we became friends, was through the training. Because a lot of people didn't train for the distance, and I was doing, between my 2 race leagues that I would do a week that are 5 miles intense, and then I would do 2 40-mile training days a week, and then closer to the crossing, I would do a 40 and a 56, and like, I trained my butt off. I wanted to be first. And as soon as it started, you realize that it's not a race, that it's a charity. And I had trained with the wrong mentality for the whole thing. And I really soured it for myself, because if you feel unsafe or whatever, you're supposed to get you and your group back into your boat, because you have a safety boat with you, and go to the next checkpoint. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was watching all these boats going miles ahead of me and put people in the water. And I was hanging like even with a 6-person outrigger canoe for first place. And I'm like, I got this. As soon as the sun comes up, because you start at midnight, as soon as the sun comes up, I'm going to be able to read the waves better. And I got this. And then all these people went ahead of me, and I'm like, I'm done. Put it in the boat. I'm done.
Yeah.
And I tapped out.
Yeah.
And I regret it. I'll probably do it again at some point. Maybe you guys will rally me once I introduce you to the water sports. Rally me to do it again, and maybe I'll do it.
Oh, you got the skills for it, for sure.
Yeah, I could do it tomorrow, honestly, if at a nominal pace. If I have to be first and there's someone else competitive, I know there's some surf skis that do it now. I'd probably have to go back to training again, and it's a lot of training.
It is, but y'all, the training was just transformative because I learned all about how to do the kind of ultra marathon type training
and fueling. You have to learn how to what food
hydration and fueling.
Oh yeah, that is big.
Your body stops accepting fuel at some point if you don't maintain the right balance.
Oh, absolutely, it'll crash.
And, we were an hour away from the finish, and my shoulder just went away. I could not even dip the oar in the water and put any power on it. And fortunately, our boat, our captain's boat, brought me some liquid IV, and that was amazing.
It brought you back.
It brought me back. Within 5-10 minutes, I was able to row again, and we made it all.
I was using something with carbohydrates
I had
and electrolytes and salt and everything all in it.
I did that, but that only went so far. And my shoulder was out of whack for a year and a half afterwards.
So there's bird poop on this.
Dirty.
It's dirty. He was embarrassed to show it to me, but there's a drop off right off his dock, and he's not able to launch it. He's got a sling off of his dock where he could lift it up out of the water, but he's waiting for his sons to be in town to get it there so you could start rowing it every day. And then at that point, you'll probably throw
it on this canal. It's fantastic.
A cover and keep it cleaner. But while we're talking, look at the size of these papayas, guys. We were at Adam's house, and we were looking at those papayas.
Take some home. I can't eat them fast enough.
No.
I'm sick of them now.
Well, yeah, I'm not a massive fan of papayas.
Oh,
but
I love them. These are awesome. That one's almost overripe. I'll give it to the chickens or something.
Yeah.
And then that one just fell over. It was so full that Hurricane Ian did the first damage to that one, and all the papayas just took it down.
Oh, the chickens are eating the ripe ones as they grow.
Keeps them out of the garden.
And he's got all these gardens. We're gonna walk around and look at that. But do you guys see his view? His beautiful dock here. There's if you have a dock on freshwater, you're gonna have duck shit. I mean, it's just part of it.
Wash it, but we're overdue.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could power wash it and clean it the next day. These are monitor people, so they understand. We clean our waters. Yeah, we understand water. We clean the water, and 5 minutes later, the monitor comes up and poops. Kai, you've got bass fishing right off your dock.
Oh yeah, we caught an 8-pounder off of here.
An 8-pounder, fishing with live shiners, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. I would be feeding the fish off my dock every day. And the problem with feeding is you can end up with that friendly gator, so to speak, a problem gator that learns you feed, and could be a problem for some kid fishing behind their house or something like that. That's no longer afraid of people.
We pulled a 9-footer out of here.
Never feed gators. Never feed wild gators, guys.
You gotta come help me and fish with me. I mean, I'm not a fisherman.
Oh, I'd love to. I can bring the kayaks over. We can go poke around and fish. But really cool.
Over here, one of the breeders for the birds that I put in the pasture.
Okay, so these are meat birds.
Yeah,
meat
they're not
chickens.
laying birds, but there's about 60 of them in here, and probably by Friday I'll have them out on the pasture.
By Friday.
Yeah.
So from egg
I get them
harvest.
I get them as 1-day-old babies.
1 day old.
And typically they're ready. This particular breed, a Cornish cross, they're ready in 8 weeks. So they grow ridiculously fast.
That is insane.
And
absolutely insane.
Whereas the little egg birds take forever. They're much slower growing, and they don't even start to lay.
So I really like how you have that built. You need to wire that together. That's a rodent entrance right there.
I had a cord through there.
Okay.
I've since changed all that. But
I like that because you got to have the heat lamp on them. Because we do. I don't know. Right now, the quail right now is stressful for me because I wasn't prepared for it. And it wouldn't have been as stressful if I didn't have losses right off the bat.
Yeah.
That, I mean,
Quail do everything faster. You know, they grow faster, they die faster, they multiply.
it's a star fruit, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. That's a, so,
Yeah.
so you got it with a lot of mature fruit trees.
Yeah, we've got some loquat trees, but they're just not that big. They're just like a little snack. They're not like.
I love loquats.
Oh,
that's probably my favorite fruit you can grow in your yard.
Man, they're good. There's just nothing like them.
So this is another brooder?
Yeah, this is the other brooder.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
And this is also where the other chickens will go in there?
No, I started out with that, and I didn't realize pretty quickly I wanted a movable hen house.
Okay.
So there, you know, that they go in there, they put themselves to bed every night. I move it every couple of days, so they're fertilizing the whole yard.
So they're in this cart.
And then I can collect the eggs here. Like there's one egg in there, 2 eggs in there now.
Okay. And how many chickens do you have in this yard?
30.
30.
And
they're all laying in those couple
you only
crates?
need 1 nest for every 10 chickens.
What?
Yeah. I'm gonna get a different nest box that rolls out where the eggs will stay clean.
I didn't say what as me questioning it, what as me learning it. Because I had a lot more laying boxes for my 20 chickens.
Yeah.
Maybe 12 for 20 or something like that.
Yeah, it's they're a whole different deal though. I focus on the meat birds, and I have some laying hens because I love them. They're hilarious.
They're and you have raised gardens. What are you growing in your gardens?
Right now we just focus on salad mixes, and I've got a bunch of sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes.
Cover crop in the summer with sweet potatoes and cowpeas and some okra. But
how good's the okra?
It's okay. It's good.
It's okay.
Yeah.
What is it? At Lightsy's, the charred or blackened okra. Have you had that there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
We just ate at Lightsy's last night.
Did you?
Yeah.
I like it, but it's like a little pricier than it needs to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's like worse than Jupiter prices.
In Okeechobee, we have so few choices.
Yeah.
And
but it has the atmosphere.
It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the food's good. So.
Oh yeah. So this is another loquat tree here.
Loquat.
God, I love loquats.
We had a really, really dry winter last winter, so the mangoes and loquats here didn't do real well this year.
Okay.
But I think this next year is going to be an absolute bumper crop.
I hope so. All that rain. So those are his raised gardens. We'll have to set something up.
The boat house and blew it apart. Yeah, but yeah.
Make it better.
Yeah. I'm gonna build my barge boat under that thing. I'm gonna do a barge boat with about a 6-inch draft and a big old giant Chinese junk rig on a mast that you can fold down so you can get under the locks and stuff.
Just for cruises?
I'll be able to take it all over Okeechobee, gator hunt, fish, but I can also take it all along the Intercoastal Waterway, the Keys, stay on the inside.
Okay.
You know, it'll be a good sailing boat. It won't be pretty, but it'll have nice accommodations for 2 people down below and a good reading nook and a lot of deck space. And I'm using the reason I've got those 2 lined up like that is because I was trying to in my mind envision the 24 feet.
Oh, that's funny.
Now it'll be 8 feet wide, so it'll be quite a platform.
So actually, when I walked out, I asked you what that was, and this is basically the structure that we're going to see at the chicken farm, that the chickens are able to free range.
Yeah, you'll see
underneath that.
I put shade on the sides and on the top.
Can't wait.
And no, it's worked really well. That size I can move by hand. Everybody wants these big, they call them chicken tractors. Everyone wants these big ones that you have to pull with a side-by-side or a small tractor. And then what happens too is they run over the birds with the back end of it.
Oh.
Now my buddy Nick here also raises chickens. He's got a border collie trained to keep the chickens off the back rail, so he's got that figured out.
Okay.
But this way, I'm in control of it. I can move it. You'll see me move it. I can watch the birds. I've hurt a couple of them moving it. I don't. That really bums me out. But anyway.
Well, if you pull it going backwards, which you're probably stronger pulling it that way, then your eyes are on them. So
they're on them, but then occasionally you still grab one. And,
okay.
They can be sort of fragile at that when you hit them with the back end of that. But those birds, though, once they get beyond the brooding stage, they're indestructible. I mean, they're tough.
So also you have 30 birds in this area.
Yeah, they're all in the shade.
And you really don't have any bald spots from the chickens really turning your backyard. There's a couple little spots, but for the most part, you still got beautiful grass back here.
Well, it's green. It may not be grass, but it's green.
You know what the first thing I do when I buy a house, even in town, Jupiter, pull out the irrigation.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, we like the irrigation.
Weed grass, or natural grass, or grasses that have deeper roots that aren't starving for water. Those grasses will stay green in a dry season. They rebound faster. Like, if you water your lawn constantly, you create a water dependent lawn. And it has to be watered, or it just, as soon as it kicks off hot and it's dry, all its roots are up by the surface and it dies. Like, I'd rather weed grass, because when you have a mixture,
well, the
there are seasons that the weeds are more tolerant of, like the drier seasons, and they stay green. And then there are seasons when the grass is the stronger and it kicks off more green and the weeds are dying back, but your lawn is always green. My lawn in Jupiter Farms is always green, even in the dry season. People are like, oh, you're watering it. I never water it. It's because I never water it. That's why it does good.
That's perfect. I mean, believe me, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I mowed the lawn for the last time. I remember going in, you know, how many years have I been running this silly little lawnmower around in this rectangle for what? And I went in and told my wife, I'm never doing that again. She and my sons have done the lawn since that point. I think she took me pretty seriously. But that's when I decided I'm going to start doing fun stuff and pushing myself.
What kind of rooster is it that you have there?
No idea. We've had
no
him,
idea.
Since
he's big.
He's a great watchdog. He's got to be 6 years old.
So I've got a predation question, because here's an interesting story from just yesterday. I'm pulling in my driveway and a chicken falls out of the sky and lands on the driveway 30 feet in front of my truck. So I was like looking at what that is. I parked my truck and I went back, and it was a brown chicken, similar to like, was it a Rhode Island Red or whatever?
Yeah,
or
some of them, a couple of Rhode Island Reds, and some of these called ISOs. They're a hybrid egg layer, but
and I look up. I saw a shadow pass by, and I parked the truck and I looked up, and it was a young bald eagle.
Oh,
so it was brown with the speckled white spots on it, and it was big. It was full, the size of an adult. Obviously big enough to pick up a chicken and fly away with a chicken. So like, what do you stop?
I'm lucky.
The predation. You're lucky. The trees obviously help.
Yeah, and their rooster actually will sound an alarm. The other day I was out. I processed my chickens, believe it or not, out here in the open sunshine. And I have an egret and a heron that hang out, a bunch of ibis. And like you see all the ibis over there.
Yeah, there's a whole, actually,
all of a
maybe
sudden
while we're talking, walk up to the fence.
All at once, they all flew off. My egret flew off. And sure enough, I see a bald eagle going across over there, 100 yards away.
Now, the bald eagles, there's some that are here year round, but there's more in winter, it seems like. But there's not a lot of them, but there are some.
Oh yeah, and they took all the trees out along the dike over here, which made me sad. But we used to have bald eagles in those every day, and now they go farther to the east.
So these are the ibis that we're talking about. They poke around with their curved bill into the grass, and they eat worms and insects and stuff like that. You'll see more of them after a good rain.
They're the ones that poop all over my dock.
There is was it a cattle bird or a little white? Is it a little white heron? What do they call the cattle egret? He's mixed in there with them.
Yeah, right over there. I love those.
So
smaller ones.
Not funny story. Some University of Miami fans were grabbing the birds and dyeing them green and releasing them in Miami, and they kept finding them dyed green because it looked like their mascot's a stork, right?
No,
but
it's an ibis.
it is an ibis,
Yeah.
but it was, the ibis is supposed to be orange with a green bill or green with an orange bill, I forget, but they were capturing the ibis and doing that and letting them go. But
Didn't hurt them though. I mean, other than
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's
freaked 'em
traumatic.
out.
Can you imagine being a
Freaked 'em
wild
out pretty
animal?
good, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I said, not funny story. Even if we're chuckling a little bit about it, it's
Pretty rude.
the people that are grabbing all the
Football fans.
the turtles and tortoises and painting their shells with paints that aren't
That's skin. That's skin.
they absorb the stuff through their skin, and that's horrible. That's been a big problem down here. Young kids found it trendy, and they're catching turtles and painting them. But
well, let's load up the truck and go to the pasture.
let's do it. Okay, so we did a tour of Bruce's house, and we walked our way out through his garage, which is stinking awesome. And then he showed me his freezer where some of his products are stored. And you had told me about that, but I hadn't seen it, and you pulled it out. So Joe's Raw Dog Food from...
That's my son, Joe.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Uncle Swab's Pastured Poultry. And this is a dog food product that you're making, and tell us about this.
Yeah, I do it. It's kind of, I call it a secret. It's a joke at the farmer's market because I don't even have it on my website because I think I'd sell more of this than people food.
Yeah.
But it's you know, as I'm processing chickens, there's some that aren't perfect, you know. So the idea, well, we started doing it for our dog Bruno here. He had all kinds
Who's
of
good and healthy.
skin issues,
Yeah.
and we were spending $160 a month on meds for our dog.
Yeah.
And we thought we were giving him good food, but we learned how to do raw food. I learned all about the nutrition. So I came up with what as simple a dog food as I could think of, and it's the whole chicken, but it's everything. It's the entire chicken except for I do take out the intestines and the gallbladder
And the feathers.
and the feathers. Yeah. And but then I add broccoli, peas, and blueberries because of their antioxidant properties and so forth. And but there's no carbohydrates whatsoever in this.
All right,
but
so
it's the bones, the marrow. Let me I'm making these little patties. I can make it in smaller patties, whatever. I just got silicone molds for like baking, and they work perfect.
All right, guys. Now, I want some feedback on this. Does anyone know if, what'd you say? Peas? What are the vegetables in there?
Peas,
blueberries,
broccoli florets, and blueberries.
Are those bad for monitors? Or would I actually have to have him change a recipe? Because what I'm thinking is for when I'm starting off the young monitors, and I want, because right now I am cutting up gizzards, or
I got gizzards in here.
chopping up chicken hearts, or I'm having to like
it's all in here.
process
Lungs
food,
even.
or I chop up thawed mice
The
or
heads
something
are
like
in
that.
here, the
But
brains.
you can't do the chopped up whole prey every day, but this has everything that whole prey has in it. But I don't know if those
What about-
couple fruits and vegetables are bad in some degree, or would I need another mixture? But
We could get some little silicone molds in the shape of mice.
Joe's Raw Monitor Food could be another product.
Oh, that's scary.
Hey, it's less steps. You don't have to mix the fruits and vegetables in it.
Not enough hours in the day, but yeah, it's amazing.
Tell me if I shouldn't have him pull some before those fruits and vegetables go in, or if they're good, because I would love to try it on some of the young monitors. All right, so we're at the property, and he pulls this cart out of the bushes, and was explaining to me how he does everything by hand on this property. There is no gas-powered vehicle that's hauling all this. He said he lost 15 pounds when he started this, which is great. So he's filled up his water here. He's filling up his buckets of feed, and we're gonna pull this over to where the chickens are at. Guys, look how beautiful this land is.
Oh,
It's
look down this driveway. This driveway's 3 acres. I've raised a bunch of birds on this driveway. I just
Just
pull them up and
on the
down.
green
Yeah.
space on this driveway.
Yeah, here in a month or so, I'll put some pins on back on this driveway.
How cool is
I
that?
give a rest to the pasture, you know, but
Yeah.
I drive along the highways. And
All right, I'm gonna stop filming and help. Well, I could have helped on the incline. So, what I'm thinking now inside my head is there room for me on the cart, and could I jump in there without Bruce noticing and make him haul me over to the chickens? No.
So these babies are going to get processed tomorrow.
Okay.
You get one more day, we're going to move in here. You'll be able to see. I've been zigzagging this. You can see I've zigzagged this one here. But we fill their water, I clean out their water. And we're gonna, you can see they've just, in 1 day's time, they've really eaten the grass and trimmed.
So yeah, so you move them almost every day?
Yeah, yeah. I give them fresh grass every day. The grass, believe it or not, is an excellent antioxidant.
Yeah.
Between that and just sunshine, they really get.
So look how he's got this built with the wall around the side.
Yeah.
It's fairly simple. What is this material that you're using for shade? Oh, I see what
It's a shower liner.
shower liner. I was gonna say that restaurant wall material, but okay.
Yeah. I tried corrugated, all kinds of stuff, and
That's priced right, and it's probably doing.
priced right, you know.
What is this? That's
I don't know. Look at that.
what is
Some kind of wild creature.
is scraping at it to
Yeah.
get in. Holy cow!
Yeah. I looked at that. And I was like,
Those are pretty significant claws.
no, and they're so uniform. That's what I don't understand. It's weird. I don't know. That was a big mystery. But they didn't get the chicken.
Like a coyote standing up on it and scratching.
Probably.
I mean, I don't think that's a raccoon or possum or anything small like that. So there he is, moving it to a new spot every day onto fresh grass.
Yeah, if you go over there, you can see you'll see the long.
I could see how excited they are to be on fresh grass. The second they're finding their favorite things and pecking right away at whatever is their favorite. And probably new insects.
Yeah, they have no idea what happens tomorrow. They're really, I mean, there's a horse poop.
Yeah, I was wondering. I thought there was like the horse poop inside their thing. Do the horses get in here or no?
No, I just moved the electric fence here.
Oh, okay.
days
So
ago.
you change where the horses are and where they are on different times. Look how beautiful those oaks are right there.
Yeah, the back pasture back there, the horses have literally obliterated it. You see the sand. The horses will just tear a pasture up.
Yeah.
So all last summer, I sequestered that back there and moved chickens there, and I reseeded too, and it really helped that pasture. But now the horses are back over there. I worry about it, but I just have to do it again next year. The chickens are putting down so much organic matter and fertilizer. It's really amazing.
Now I asked you at the truck because there's two different feeds that you're feeding him.
These guys are getting the grower, the final feed. The other pins we're going to feed today get what I call a starter.
Okay. And it's different vitamins, different amount of proteins.
The starter's got alfalfa in it. It's got higher protein. It's got this stuff called biochar, which is, I guess, a charcoal derivative that really cleanses them. So it's a really high quality feed. The grower, I can back down the protein a little bit, and I don't have those extra expensive additives. They don't need it at this point.
Yeah.
They're eating more grass.
So how old are these birds here?
These guys are 8 to 9 weeks.
It's funny. Yeah, I can actually see their youth in their face. I can see that they're young in their face.
Yeah, they're not sexually mature yet or anything. If I were to keep them another 2-3 weeks, they'd start crowing.
Yeah.
And oh wow, sorry babies, I gotta get the water.
There's one extra big one in there.
Yeah.
If I was coming here to buy a chicken, that's the one I'd want.
Yeah, the roosters grow quite a bit faster than the hens. So I'll like, these guys had some brothers and sisters. This is like the 3rd harvest on this one group.
Okay.
So even the roosters in here were, you know, slower growth than some that I've already harvested.
What do you guys eat? What do you eat?
But they get to know me pretty well. And they'll fly out of here, and they just follow along. And then they realize, oh, all the action's in there, so they're really.
They want to come right back.
Oh yeah, they're really good back to me.
And they're loving that clean water.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll empty that out today, so they're ready for a fresh thing in the next morning. And
it's almost better to just add water every day.
Oh yeah.
So it's always clean, because they make such a mess of it.
That's the way it feels to me. And everything is scaled small here. And I think max out, I've got 10 of these pins right now. And I can see having 20, but that's about it, you know. I don't want to do everything bigger, faster, better. I just want to do it well.
Do it right.
And I've got a great group of customers. And I get to know them at this point. You know, I think I've got right now probably what I think 60 or 70 really strong customers that they know me. We talk about what they want, when they want it. And it just feels right.
So I wonder, because remember, firstly I got to solve. I'll keep walking with you. I don't want to slow him down. He's at work. So you know, my first problem is the quail that I need to solve, and I'm trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to build these enclosures for the quail. And you know, being a taller guy, I want to be able to walk in the enclosure to take care of them. But everyone's saying that the ceiling that they need is maximum a foot tall. Yeah. Or they can fly and then end up hurting themselves. We'll grab one of the feeds, or
I'm good.
Got it.
You just keep asking questions.
I was thinking about initially building a tall enclosure with something that folds down from the side, kind of like that's leaning up. So once I walk in the door, I can walk in 2 feet and fold something up, clip it, and then I can. Now, how old are these guys?
These guys are probably 3 weeks behind those guys, 3 to 4 weeks behind them.
3 to 4 weeks.
I'll start harvesting these in 2 weeks, but it'll just be the biggest ones.
Just the biggest ones out of there.
Yeah.
So I could build a cage like that, but then I'm also looking at this, where people have suggested that I could build something that I could move around. But then I feel like they're walking back on the screen. Because the quail, you have to worry about the predation from even small things. Like, whereas these chickens are a lot sturdier and hardier than a small quail.
Yeah, and I get some predation just because the chickens will find their way out when they're small.
Yeah.
And there's only so much you can do. But the quail, what I've heard is they will fly up and break their necks if you give them too much headspace.
But I like, they want the security, so I like what you're doing for giving them that all that shade and security.
Oh, for sure.
And I could move the quail around that back. I could do the screen bottom.
And as long as, you know, because they'll eat grass too. And bugs.
And bugs.
Yeah.
So I could build something like that.
And keep it light. I mean, well, you wouldn't need something even this big. I'd give them 60 square feet here. They get 1.5 to 2 square foot per bird.
You know, that's what I like about like-minded people. Like, here's something I looked at right away, and you're gonna laugh. You didn't buy 2x2s.
No, I buy 2x6s.
You buy 2x6s and you rip them in 3s.
Yeah.
See, I buy the 2x4s and I rip them in half. I can tell that this has a rounded corner and then a sharp edge that you're ripping your lumber. It's cheaper that way.
Yeah, way cheaper.
If you want to spend a minute and rip it, it's a lot cheaper. And lumber is so stinking expensive right now.
Yeah.
And if you bought 2x2s, you would spend your entire day at Home Depot.
Now, where do you get a 2x2 like that anyway?
Yeah.
I think I'll show you a little detail here.
You would spend your entire day looking for straight ones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and they work.
But if you buy a 2x6, they're almost all straight.
And I don't rip it until the day.
Until the day you're going to use it. Otherwise, they'll sit on the ground.
ahead of time. Like, oh, I'm really getting ahead of myself here. Come out, man.
Yeah, but the lumber that they choose to mill for the 2x2s is the smaller diameter stuff, and the bigger stuff makes 2x6s, and that tends to stay straighter. Even
heard the best piece of dimensional lumber to buy is a 2x10 if you can find one long enough.
Yeah,
because it's the less knots and it's a higher quality. But 2x6 works great for me. What I got here, this is just simple. This is maybe a little bit of the sailor in me, but that wind on a windy day will catch this and flop it over. And so I just put a little screw here, and I just do a little clove hitch right there, and one down here. When I'm on those windy days, it takes me another 10
which is a lot of days out here. And there's when you have
not that
pasture
many,
around you, a little wind like really can accelerate.
Yeah. And what happens is you can't do this holding one arm holding this. And
yes.
And your choice is either to lay the lid gently down.
So how many times did you get hit in the head before you?
Well, actually, more than anything, I've had those just blow away from me and slam down. I'm like, oh man, how long is this gonna last? Because it's somewhat lightly built. I mean, I've got all the corners well braced, but my weak link is definitely this lid.
Yeah.
But just simple things like that I've learned over time. I learned everything the hard way, of course.
Well, we all do.
But that's, and well, the other thing too is everything. Just I tie this shut. It doesn't take. It just takes the one tie, because you know a windstorm will take these lids and blow them completely open. I've had that happen.
Now, there's a canal right there, or is there a canal over an embankment?
On the other side of
So have you ever had an alligator over here by him?
Yeah.
Yeah? Did
had an
it
alligator
surprise you, or
No.
you saw him from a distance? You didn't like walk up and all of a sudden,
No, but they'll once in a while they get kind of lost.
He totally ruined the story. It would have been way more interesting if he would have been.
I can't give you drama. I gave that for my own house. We had drama in my own backyard. But
I like the shirt, by the way, Bruce.
this is some people at the farmer's market that I go to.
Okay.
They do a really great hot sauce.
Okay.
Chicken. They've got a regular heat one and a ghost. It's a little bit hot for me, but I love it.
Is it a hot sauce or is it like a pepper sauce?
It's a pepper sauce.
Because pepper sauce has got way more flavor.
Yeah.
And to me is way more practical.
Yeah, no, they've won all kinds of awards, and so now when somebody buys like a 10-pound or a 20-pound batch of chicken from me, I always put either a bottle of their sauce in it. I also have some folks that make great jellies that I love to share.
Okay.
Some dry rubs and stuff.
Heck yeah.
But I got some smoked salt.
I cannot wait to start cooking with Bruce, because you guys don't know this yet, but I love to cook, and as we get more into the fishing and stuff like that, and I don't know.
I can't believe you moved to Okeechobee.
Yeah, how random, right?
Yeah.
How random.
I was like, well, Jerry's a Jupiter guy. I'll never see him again. But I'm so excited.
All right. So we're gonna get into something repetitive for a little bit. So I'm gonna shut you guys off for a minute, and then we'll pick back up.
Yeah, this business is, there's nothing romantic about this, you know. As with lots of work, I mean, yeah, you can be doing fiberglass work, just get it done, you know.
So Bruce was showing me that these darker birds are laying hens that he's raising up for his other house, and it's easy just to put them in with the other birds as he's raising them up, because it's better for them to be with other birds, but they're the same age. So you can see the other birds are twice as big,
Same age.
or 3 times as big if you really look at the bulk. I'm sure by weight it could be significantly a bigger difference.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty wild to see.
Yeah, and the little birds laying.
All right, so now we just finished the second pin with the youngest ones. In fact, they still have their yellow heads as chicks, and they're I think you were saying around 4 weeks old.
Yeah, I think they're just coming up on 4 weeks.
And actually, what I wanted to video was just before this, when they were eagerly listening to you talk and running around. They really had that look on their face, just like the young monitors. They were cocking their heads to the side, watching you talk. You know,
Yeah.
chickens and these monitor lizards, they are dinosaurs. They are the remnants of the dinosaurs, and they are related. These birds and these lizards, they are related.
They get to know me. They're pretty excited to see me in the morning.
Oh, the food guy, absolutely.
Yeah.
All animals love the food guy. They are cute.
Jerry, the rain just kind of quit on us. We had unbelievable rain all summer.
Oh,
About 3 weeks ago, somebody shut it off. I don't know.
it was nice, but it wasn't nice with me doing the construction on the cages. It was it was a huge
Oh, I
hindrance.
know. I walked through some of your little lagoons there.
Yeah, that whole we're getting that worked out right now as we speak. In fact, I started doing it, and then I realized that I need to tie into the existing plumbing, and they had the irrigation lines from the plant farm, and I have them staked out as they popped up.
Is that still pretty good plumbing?
Well, that plumbing, yeah, all those zones work. They put it like 3 feet down, so I need to hand dig it 3 feet down for that 50 feet before I get to the spigot, at least that part, to get to the spigot line, to tie all those in and label those zones, get to that water line to bring it to the back of the cages, and then tie in that hallway and then fill it with rock. So I've got my work cut out for me. Lots of digging.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we're gonna pull the cart back. It's a lot easier to pull now, right?
Oh yeah.
Now that it's empty. Really cool to see how he does this. We've had long conversations about the quality of the feed and what makes it, what costs him a lot more money to feed them, but is a much cleaner product with, and he was telling me about it. It's what the GMO corn and the soybeans and all that stuff, but like what makes it non-GMO and what chemicals are not in it, and why it costs him so much to produce these birds. But you know, he says it's what his customers want, and it's what he wants, and it's what gives you a premium product. And it's really cool to see how you're doing all this, Bruce.
Well, it was awesome for you to come give me a hand and learn about it, you know. Thank you.
I did pull the cart for 30 feet through the sugar sand over there, but I didn't give you much of a hand. I really watched most of the time.
Moral support. I'm usually out here by myself.
Yeah, join the club.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man, but we will go visit him at a green market and see how he sells his product one day, as well as like maybe searching out. The green markets will sell a lot of fruit trees and stuff, and we need to keep slowly picking out.
Jerry, the Florida community have really started to embrace the farmers market, the community markets. I mean, they're all up and down the Treasure Coast, and I'm thrilled with it. I mean, they're coming there to buy food. They come with the big bags.
Yeah.
And it's good. We're gonna get there. It's gonna take a little more time, but
better fruit, better vegetables.
Yeah.
And I mean, you do have to pay attention. A lot of people are selling fruit and vegetables that they bought cheap, and they're just there flipping them at a green market like it's something they produce. But the person there that only has a selection of 4 things is more likely the person that actually grew it and is selling it, or one thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I just encourage people, whatever community you're in, search out those people who are really growing it, and we'll talk to you. Some farmers tend to be a little bit nervous, you know, about, they're introverted maybe, but you can still pull it out of them. Start talking about what they're interested in, but know how they raise stuff. I mean, ask them about, do you use GMO or non-GMO? I mean, because a lot of them might not even understand yet how they need to be improving
what that it fully means. And that's what I learned a lot of today. I get comments from some of the viewers about the quality of chicken that I'm feeding my monitors, and so I was talking to him in depth about, you know, could I skimp on the quality of the feed a little bit to produce a lesser expensive bird to afford to feed all my monitors and stuff like that. So we've had some discussions. Maybe in the future I will raise some meat birds to satisfy that instead of purchasing from Publix or Walmart or whatever my chicken.
You've got the property to raise your own birds, but you're not going to be doing it because of the cost. You're going to be doing it because you want to control the quality. It's
going to be both. It has to be both.
You can do it for less than what you'd pay at Publix, and it'll be a way better bird.
Yeah.
But you're still going to probably be exceeding maybe the cost that you feel like you'd like to hit right now. I mean, I just, you know.
But a couple dollars more shouldn't make a difference if my farm is actually producing more babies, and once I have some normalcy, and it
doesn't have to be all or nothing either.
It's all part of the process and the growth of the property and the farm. So we're gonna finish this video at the house. I think I was separating out those eggs that I boiled yesterday, and we're gonna feed them some crappy eggs, but you know, that's all part of it. Is I want to start having my own chickens on the property and feed them high quality eggs that I know these chickens have been walking my property and eating the ants and insects and stuff on the grass and all my natural grass and some feed, but know that I'm feeding my lizards better food and myself. It's so nice to not being buying eggs at the grocery store.
Pasture
It is horrible.
So much better.
They're like, the yolks are pale yellow.
Yeah. They're old.
Yeah, or you pay a fortune for the eggs. It's so nice to have a bunch of chickens on your property. All right, guys, we'll be back. We'll be back at my property, and we'll feed a couple animals. All right, it's the end of the day. I've been busy switching hide boxes out for females that are about to lay eggs, separating them from the males. Giving Frosty, now you can see him out of his shed. He's still got a little bit of loose skin hanging off of him. But, you know, basically this is what we're trying to get away from, is feeding these store-bought eggs. I used to, from my 23 chickens I believe I had, I would get 18 eggs a day. And you guys remember, I would walk down the halls and I would feed so many eggs to the monitors. And I know we have to always vary what they eat, but one of their primary food sources in the wild is eggs, and maybe more developed eggs. Sorry, got that a little close. I'm unlocking a door. Not necessarily just infertile, undeveloped eggs, maybe something a little more developed. But I mean, my opinion on that is the recipe, all the vitamins, nutrients, protein, calcium, everything for building a whole animal is in that egg. And there's no reason why an egg isn't just as nutritious as that baby chick. Let's see if I can sneak an egg in for these youngsters, and I want to show you what they're doing in their enclosure. Oh, he's getting a little nip on her. There we go. All right, let me get 2 more eggs for those guys, and you guys can watch and see what they're doing in their enclosure. Now, this is something that the young monitors do, especially the young rock monitors. They're feeding on insects. Now, I have the bioactive soil, so there are mole crickets, roaches, earthworms, beetle larvae. There's all sorts of stuff in this earth, and between their meals, this is what they're doing to their enclosure. They're digging these holes just every couple inches, not to escape. This is them feeding naturally on what the enclosure has to offer them. So it's I mean, look at that little female trying to swallow that egg whole. Really cool behavior. I don't see the young water monitors do that, just the young rock monitors, but it is really cool behavior. Let's see if we can get Frosty 2 more. Why not? He's at that age where I remember being a teenager and eating whatever I want. Nope, it went past you, buddy. It went past you, Frosty. He's still at that age where he's still moving fast. He's not a slower, clumsier adult. And the smaller monitors tend, especially when they're like triggered for food, can be a bit faster. So why I just pitched that past them. So hopefully we can get those last posts in the ground, and we could start framing out and staging for our chickens and get our chickens started. You know, Bruce was talking at the end of our little tour there about experimenting with that mixed up chicken part patties as a food source for the babies, and I'm really interested in that. It's I'm sure there are people in the pet industry that are producing something like that, but and I don't think he would want to produce it for much further away, but maybe just for the local market over here, someone to supply, you know, like Kenan, me. I wish I would have carried some eggs. Onyx is just eyeballing me when I walked by. Him and oh gosh, Sapphire. They were going crazy for their hard-boiled eggs. They really enjoyed them. All the rock monitors are crazy about their eggs. The water monitors, I get mixed results with them. Not all of them like the eggs. But I think that's it for the video. Oh, shoot. Yeah, we went to the OK Corral, which is a famous gun range and club that is not far from my house over here. So we went there for lunch. Apparently they have a really nice prime rib dinner and stuff like that on Friday nights, but we just went there for lunch, and it was the first time seeing it in the facility. Look at Onyx. Come on, buddy. Come on. There you go. So yeah, Onyx is looking good. He's still a very defensive monitor. He still hasn't warmed up to me yet, but you can still see even Onyx's hip bones a little bit. That all of these monitors just needed to gain a little weight. Yeah, he's eating an egg, and he is straight eyeballing the other egg in my hand. That's funny. But yeah, we had a really nice lunch. It almost reminded me of like Frontierland in Disney World, the way they had it done up in there. It was done really nice. In fact, I took a picture of their pump house, where it was just framed out with tar paper on it, and it was basically that corral board for siding that they ran vertically, and it just looked like an old wood cabin, but it was done with that same wood. I don't know if that's something that we should apply over here in our bar area or not. But we'll see. We'll do something fun in that area. But I think that's it for this video, guys. Lots of good stuff coming. All right, until next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. See you soon.